If you're thinking about moving to New Jersey, there are a few things you need to know before you make that big decision. New Jersey can be an amazing place to live, but I don't want you to be surprised. There are a lot of nuances of New Jersey that you should be aware of before you make that decision. From property taxes to the cost of living, these are some things we'll be talking about in this video to help better educate you. Let's get into it. First of all, in New Jersey, location matters a lot. From the south to the north of New Jersey, you can drive the full state in less than 3 hours. And there's a lot of variance when you're driving that distance across the New Jersey state. For one, if you're up in North Jersey, you may be closer to New York City, more of an urban lifestyle. And then further in the south, you'll have way more land. It'll be way more rural. You could be in towns like Hoboken, Jersey City, Weehawken, or even in Bergen County, you're still close to the city and there's a lot going on, like Ridgewood, or in Essex County, you have Montclair, Bloomfield. Because you're so close to New York City and the commute is easy as well, these towns may have a higher price point. If you're looking for something a little cheaper, maybe a little more land, a little more suburban, a little more rural, you may want to go further south in New Jersey. There's even a difference in which sport franchises you're going to be rooting for. Living in North Jersey, you'll typically follow the New York teams like the Knicks, most importantly the Knicks, or the Giants, or the Yankees. And further south, you're going to be tracking probably the Philadelphia teams like the 76ers and the Eagles. Being that I'm originally from Monmouth County, I'm also one of the people that would argue that Central Jersey does exist. Once you move to New Jersey, you'll understand that there's a debate of whether there's a Central Jersey at all, where North Jersey starts, where South Jersey ends. It's all up for debate. It's very controversial. So to wrap all this up, one thing you have to decide is, do you want city access? Do you want suburban living? This could be 30 to 60 minutes apart. So this is something you really need to be comfortable with before you make a decision to buy. Item 2, we're going to talk about property taxes. And in New Jersey, it's no joke. New Jersey is actually the most expensive state in the whole country as far as property taxes, clocking in at around 2.1% of the value of the home. In some towns, this can be $8,000 to $10,000, but in other towns, we can be at $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, or even beyond that every single year in taxes. Bergen County and Essex County are two of the notorious areas where those taxes can be extremely high. So why are the taxes so high? Well, New Jersey invests a lot of that money into its infrastructure. The public schools are some of the highest rated schools throughout the country, and that's one of the great benefits of coming to New Jersey. Aside from the schools, that money is used for public transportation, so the bus system and train station are very convenient, especially in North Jersey, to get into New York City and commute to your jobs. Aside from that, the parks are well maintained, and there are a lot of nice areas for your family or your friends to enjoy throughout the state. But if you're thinking of moving to New Jersey and you're coming from a state with extremely low property taxes, this could be a tough pill to swallow, and you're definitely going to want to think about this one before pulling the trigger. The next thing to talk about is the location of New Jersey is actually amazing. In some locations in New Jersey, you can be 1 hour from New York City and 1 hour from Philadelphia at the same time. Aside from that, you have mountains, you have skiing, you have hiking, all within a reasonable drive and a commute. You also have the famous Jersey Shore. The whole coast of New Jersey borders the ocean, and so you have Jersey Shore areas up and down the entire state. Some of them are a little more action-packed and filled with parties, while others are laid back, relaxed, and they have famous boardwalks that are lined with restaurants and things to do. They're great for families. They're great for friends. It's really one of the gems of the state. From a restaurant scene, New Jersey really is a melting pot of all the different cuisines throughout the world. And that's why people love New Jersey as well. You really get a little bit of everything. We've touched on this a little bit, but the fourth point to keep in mind is that commuting from New Jersey is very common. Whether you work in Philadelphia or New York City, it's very common for people to live in New Jersey and to travel out of state for their jobs. Whether it's NJ Transit, you have your train lines, you have your bus lines, you have the Parkway. It's pretty easy to navigate all throughout the state and into those major cities, major hubs where all of your employers are that are paying you top dollar to buy these houses. If you're planning to live in New Jersey and then work in one of those cities, definitely look into the train lines and the bus lines. Look into your commute times so you can figure out which town might be right for you and which would be maybe too far for you as a person. We'll have some future videos where we'll go more in depth with some of these great commuter towns. The next thing to consider is that the housing market in New Jersey is still extremely competitive. If you're coming from out of state, some of the things you may have to do, some of the hoops you may have to jump through as a buyer to get an accepted offer in New Jersey, they might seem out of the ordinary coming from a less competitive market. I know right now it's March of 2026, and I know that a lot of areas in the country are starting to soften from a real estate perspective. The buyers are getting a little bit more power, But here in New Jersey, especially in those towns that are great for commuting, that are high demand towns, it's still very competitive, and the buyers may have to pay over ask. You might have to waive an appraisal. You might have to waive some of your inspection. And these are things that, coming from out of state, maybe coming from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, that's unheard of right now because the prices are softening and buyers are getting things for under the list price. So keep in mind that the New Jersey real estate market is extremely competitive still. And if you see something you like, you have to move with a professional realtor right away. In New Jersey, there's also a huge variety of towns. So you really need to take your personal preference into account. Do you want something walkable like Hoboken or maybe Jersey City? Do you want something a little bit more suburban with a nice downtown, possibly like Montclair? Do you want something even more suburban than that? Do you want more land and more space? You're going to move further south, like something in Monmouth County, like Manalapan or Marlborough. These are all things that vary from person to person, so I can't tell you what to choose, but if you let me know your likes and dislikes, I can help you to target the right area. So if you're thinking of moving to New Jersey from out of state, keep in mind some of the things that we've talked about. The property taxes may be extremely high, but the commuting is simple, the public schools are great, the restaurants are incredible, and it's truly a melting pot filled with all the variety you could possibly want. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment some other weird things about New Jersey that outsiders should definitely learn before coming here. Also, if you want some more details on maybe Union City, take a look at the link here. This is one of our other videos talking about the pros and cons of living in Union City, New Jersey. Lastly, I'm Jordan Zuber, your local New Jersey real estate expert.